Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'd like to just apologize for the poor quality of this video. I've tried different lighting and settings, but here we are. So we're just going to dive into the nuts and bolts of your next assignment, which is an editorial position paper. So bear with me. I'm going to share screen with you, and we'll have a look at this assignment together. All right, so what you should be seeing in front of you is the editorial position paper. Essentially, this is your chance to have your say on a topic and to position yourself within the existing range of opinions on a particular subject. So as you open the assignment, you'll notice that there are a number of links on here. And I just want to make sure you don't feel alarmed by this. There are at least 5 different topics, actually maybe 6. So if you have a look through these topics, there's a little bit of cueing on what the subject's about. So the first thing I would do is just scroll through. Are you interested, for example, in what happened over the controversy on uniforms at the Olympics? And if you saw any of the controversy, a lot had to do with the very revealing outfits that gymnasts and volleyball players, female players that is, were required to wear. So notably, the volleyball team, one of the volleyball teams decided that they would pay a fine and they'd wear shorts rather than what they thought were very skimpy looking bikini underwear for their uniforms. So this came up as part of a controversy. That's one topic. Another topic is if you're interested in how workers are faring during what's been described as the gig economy, which essentially means that workers see themselves as independent contractors. So you might take a position on whether the gig economy is offering opportunities for workers or stripping workers of essential rights to define themselves as full contract employees and gain benefits and rights. There are a couple other kinds of articles that connect us back to gender topics that we've looked at already. And you could certainly take a particular angle on this idea of some particular notion of gender. So for example, in the link that you can see here, life as a man isn't always easy either. We get another perspective on the way in which men are disadvantaged in our society. So you could certainly have that as your talking point. Topics D, E, and F are pretty self-explanatory. One is about resilience and the pitfalls of planning. So I thought those were really interesting on what sled dogs taught about resilience. E asks us to think about exercise and stress. Is it easier to bounce back from stress through exercise, or is this just a hackneyed solution to a much more complex problem? And topic F is about dark humor, whether it's appropriate. Is this a good survival skill? Maybe this speaks to you if you're a healthcare worker right now. All right, so anyhow, your first task is just to have a look at these articles, see what they're about. I highly recommend that for the topics that you think are interesting that you might write about, that you take some kind of keynotes on the topics and the positions in them. And, even if there's notable particular people that you like, or maybe you like any of the athletes who are mentioned here and something that they have to say resonates with you. All right, so that's just a good strategy. Pick something you like, take notes on it, write down notes and put key quotes with the speaker name in proper MLA documentation. That'll serve you well as you think about the topic. All right, so here's just a few other requirements. One is, of course, you're going to go through the same rough draft, peer reviews, and final draft process. So be open to that. Look at the peer review questions, maybe even as a guide for what the expectations for the assignment are. And then remember the most important things. In a 2-page paper, and this is written double-spaced, that takes a position, you don't have a lot of space to summarize, add lengthy kinds of editorial commentaries. You really need to get our attention, with something catchy, maybe a quote, maybe a particular defining sort of hypothetical. And then from there, you need to dive into your one sentence position statement that establishes your view clearly. All right, from there, you're going to build on whatever position you promised in your opening by giving us examples, give us reasons. Why do you think that the federations for each sport, for example, should decide uniforms? What are reasons for that? What appeals would you offer? Or conversely, if you think that some modification to the uniforms that male or female athletes wear should be taken into account based on ethnicity, based on culture, then explain to us why you think that squares with fairness in terms of the sport as a whole. All right, so in other words, why is it all right for a swimmer to adapt the swim cap or someone to choose a different kind of swim uniform? Does this give them an advantage? Or are we just being culturally sensitive and fair? Or for that matter, why not have men and women wear the same kinds of uniforms for the same kind of sport? I don't know, but it's your paper, so you're going to make that decision. Here are just one or two other very important things to remember. MLA documentation in this paper is a must. In the text of your essay, you'll need to show that you can introduce, cite, and effectively integrate the ideas of at least one or more of these articles into the context of your editorial. So think about if the source supports what you say and bolsters your argument, or think about maybe whether you can take what somebody has to say and show why that particular quote or view is wrong-headed. But in any other way I can just put it this way is that please just make sure you show how you position yourself in the argument. So if you can skillfully weave in a short quote or two, that's going to make your paper much stronger. It's going to increase your credibility. Okay, here's just a couple other things real quickly. When you scroll to the bottom of this page that has all the links, all the possible topics, you're going to see a few other requirements. There are 2 links on here to our Kirkwood Library on how to create a proper works cited page and how to use quotes. So you can find these links if you just go to the Kirkwood Library. All right, just here are some very quick other suggestions. Make what you have to say catchy. Your tone throughout the paper should be conversational, maybe less formal than a traditional paper that's academic in style. But do give reasons and do try to appeal to your audience. While it is your opinion piece, if you want others to buy into what you have to say, think about what you could do to get reader attention. How might you appeal to their emotions or to their sense of fairness or to their logic? So that's the short answer of you want to do all these things to make a good editorial. And you can also have a look at the sample editorial that I put up in the content folder. I just have some excerpts from what students have written about on a different topic. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoy this next assignment and that you get out for what's still a pretty nice day in Iowa. Take care.